Apple's new 24-inch iMac is definitely a hit, with its brand new design, the incredible M1 chip, the beautiful 4.5K display, and the surprisingly thin and light chassis. But now that we spent a good amount of time with it, we've actually found 5 issues that we didn't expect when Apple first revealed the new iMac at their spring-loaded event. In fact, there's one very important thing that Apple kept secret until iFixit finally opened it up and revealed what Apple honestly should have just told us before we ordered it. But before I get into that issue, let's start with the first one, which is the display size. We already knew for many years that the 21.5-inch iMac display was super small and definitely not meant for tech enthusiasts or anyone trying to do productivity work like video editing, photo editing, or even simple multitasking. So because of that, many people went for the 27-inch display because of that crazy 5K resolution and of course the large display size. And we're actually currently using 2 of these 27-inch iMacs because the displays are just so sharp and large, perfect for editing our YouTube videos. So naturally, when Apple announced the new 24-inch iMac, we thought it wouldn't be that much smaller than the 27-inch. But now that we've got it in our office, the display is tiny. It's seriously so small compared to the 27-inch that it actually really bugs me. And you can definitely see the difference in our speaker test from our last comparison video, which you should check out if you haven't already. Now, part of the reason why it's so small might be because of Apple's fine print, where they show that the display is not actually 24 inches, it's 23.5 inches. So it makes it even smaller than what all of their advertising made it seem like, which is a bit disappointing because that half an inch can definitely make a difference. And to be completely honest, we were thinking of replacing my iMac Pro with the new 24-inch iMac since the M1 chip is so reliable and efficient and not that much slower for editing the footage that we edit on a daily basis. But once I saw the display size in real life, I decided that there's no way I'm switching to the 24-inch, and we're gonna be waiting until later this year for the larger 30-inch model. But Angelica, our editor, is actually gonna be testing out the 24-inch to see how the editing experience really is, and she's gonna let us know if it's too small or just fine for her. So if you're not already subscribed, do so right now to help us reach our goal of 1 million subs by the end of this year. Now let's move on to the second issue that we didn't expect to find on the 24-inch iMac, and that is the webcam quality. Apple said that the webcam on the 24-inch iMac is the best in any Mac ever, which basically makes it better than the 1080p webcam on the iMac Pro. But in our experience, it's not always that great. In the recent iMac comparison video that we made, we did a webcam and microphone test. And while the 24-inch iMac looks better than the regular 27-inch iMac's webcam, the iMac Pro actually looks the best in that situation, with the 24-inch iMac looking way over-sharpened, kinda like they cranked the HDR effect to the max. So here's another FaceTime clip I took with the 24-inch iMac's webcam in a much more natural and common lighting scenario. Alright guys, so here I am back on the 24-inch iMac, and just looking at the webcam quality, you can kinda see noise in my jacket, and this is a black jacket. It is not gray. Like, look how gray this is. And my face is kind of like all flat and washed out, so I don't know what's going on. But this new 24-inch iMac's webcam, I don't know what's going on with the ISP, but it's kind of bringing all of the shadows up way too high, and it's just getting rid of all that contrast, which looks subtle and natural. This is just really flat, so I don't know what Apple's doing, but yeah. So as you guys just saw, the webcam is pretty good, but there's something going on with the software tweaking that is just ruining the image quality. Now on the plus side, this is something that Apple can address in a future software update, but it's just a little bit disappointing that everyone who already bought one has to wait and hope that the webcam is gonna get fixed. But at least, as you guys just heard in that FaceTime clip, the microphone quality is absolutely incredible, so I've got to give Apple props props for that. Now getting into the third issue, this one really annoys me about Apple's marketing, specifically the part of their presentation where they said that the 24-inch iMac has the best speakers out of any Mac ever. On the iMac spec sheet, they show off that the speaker system uses 6 speakers, which means that it should have 2 tweeters for high frequency sound, 2 mid-range speakers for the mids, and 2 force canceling subwoofers for the bass. On top of that, if you look at iFixit's recent teardown, you'll see what looks to be 2 very large metal plates built into the 24-inch iMac. And upon closer inspection, you'll notice that those plates actually kind of point to the speakers on each side. And looking at it from another angle, it's clear that the speakers do actually port directly into those metal enclosures, which is a method used in the audio world to amplify the volume and the bass of the speakers. And if you look at the previous iMac teardowns, they include those same speaker enclosures, which obviously were much thicker than the new ones on the 24-inch iMac. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that Apple marketed the new speakers to sound like they're way better than any Mac speakers ever made, but now that we've had a chance to listen to them, that's simply not true. Just hear it for yourself. As you've just heard, the volume on the 24-inch iMac is incredibly underwhelming, especially compared to the iMac Pro. Now, I will admit that the sound quality is pretty good, especially with the vocals, but the bass is seriously lacking on the 24-inch, even compared to the regular 27-inch iMac, which isn't as good as the iMac Pro. So in my opinion, the speakers on the new iMac are definitely not the best, and I would 100% take the iMac Pro speakers over the new ones time and time again. And in my experience with the 24-inch iMac so far, I noticed that I was trying to turn the volume on the speakers higher, even though they were already maxed out, which is something that always happens with Windows laptops because their speakers are always too quiet. And that is something that should not be happening on an iMac, especially after Apple said that it packs the best speakers on any Mac. But while I'm disappointed with them, I've got to admit that they are still very great quality speakers that a lot of people are going to be very happy with. I just wish that they had a little bit more volume. Now getting into the fourth issue, this is actually the one that Apple chose to keep secret. A couple of days after everyone started receiving their 24-inch iMacs, Luke Miani mentioned on Twitter that the base model only has 1 cooling fan compared to 2 on the more expensive models. This makes no sense at all because they all have the M1 chip, and Apple showed off 2 fans in their 24-inch iMac marketing videos. They literally kept it a secret from everyone, even after people were receiving their iMacs. But wait, it gets even worse. Brian Tong replied to Luke and mentioned that the more expensive models not only get 2 fans, but they actually get a dedicated heat pipe design, which is obviously superior in terms of cooling performance. This literally changes everything for someone who's struggling to choose between the base $1,300 model and the $1,500 model, because what if the more expensive 24-inch iMac actually ends up performing much better thanks to the dual fan and heat pipe cooling design? Well, we decided to answer that question by going out and picking up a base model $1,300 iMac, and we're going to be doing a very detailed performance comparison between that model and our current blue model to see if there's actually any difference. So subscribe right now so you don't miss out on that. And now let's finally finish off with the 5th issue, which isn't that big of a deal, but I definitely was not expecting it. In Apple's promotional videos of the 24-inch iMac, the colors seem to be more on the subtle side, especially on the front. But now that we've got it in our office, the blue color for some reason looks more bold compared to what the marketing video showed. Maybe it's just the fact that Apple used renders or studio lighting, but in our office, the colors look quite a bit darker than we expected, and because of that, we honestly wish that we just ordered the silver instead, which looks incredibly clean. And thankfully, we did pick up the silver $1,300 base model so we could test out the single fan performance, and we're probably gonna be returning this blue one and keeping the silver one because it looks so good. So I've gotta say that if you're someone who prefers more subtle or neutral colors, you really can't go wrong with the silver, and it definitely makes it feel more like an iMac compared to the other color options. So there you guys go. Those were the top 5 issues with the 24-inch iMac that we did not expect, and if you disagree with any of them, go ahead and comment your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed this video, click that circle button to subscribe so you don't miss out on that base versus high-end iMac comparison video. Definitely check out one of those two right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.